Ivy Slater, and you're listening to Her Success Story podcast, a show where gutsy businesswomen share their success journey. Hi, it's Ivy Slater. Welcome to today's episode of Her Success Story. So today's what we are referred to as a content episode. No interviews, just me talking about some raw and real things. It's really interesting. There's talk out there of this being an unprecedented time, a time of uncertainty. And I have to say, as a leader, as a business owner, I hate that approach. Let's be real for a second. Now, I put on calls a few months back when this all started, and I said unexpected. And let me just talk a little bit about how I see this. See, we could be at a time, not many of us saw this coming. Not many of us saw COVID-19 coming and having that ripple impact on our lives, our world, our families, our businesses, our careers. And the one thing I do know is when we look at it, uncertainty, it feeds into the fear complex. We have been at a place of being a little scared, of being rather, if you could say scared, afraid, uncomfortable, uncertain. And when we talk about that, one thing leads into the next. When we shift from there to we shifting to a possibility and opportunity, that's something else entirely. Now, slowly but surely, states are starting to open back up with caveats, restrictions, guidelines, some rules and regulations. In this, we want to be aware. We want to say, what can we be doing? What can this be looking like? How do we navigate this? What is best for our businesses, our lives, our families, our companies, our leadership style? And that's where I thought I'd talk a little bit about today, about the 7 traits of great leadership and how we can use what I wrote several years ago in navigating some points and times today. We have to be strategic decision makers. We have to think with our heart as well as our head. We need to let go of uncertainty and stop letting fear rule our decisions and come from a place of clarity. One of the first traits of great leadership is writing down specific goals. So let's be real about this for a second. Many of us, myself included, and of course all my clients, we had goal setting, strategic planning sessions, the end of 2019, early 2020, and then we had this curveball that showed up. Some businesses accelerated beyond their wildest imaginations forward because opportunity and possibility, and they served a need that was created based on the experience of COVID-19. Now, others, you can't just bury your head in the sand and say, okay, I refer to this as the ostrich effect. Put our heads down and say, okay, wake me when it's over, because you're not going to have anything after this if you don't play through this. When a ball hits somebody in the head during a game, everybody cheers for that person who gets back up. So here's the deal. It's time to get back up. Take a look at what we're learning. Take a look at what you've learned in your business. Have you stayed grounded? Have you come from a place that you can say, this is really interesting. This is what I'm learning. This is where I'm seeing possibility. This is where I'm seeing opportunity. And these are the actions, the pivots, the movements I'm going to make forward. Somebody who's been jumping on the calls for how to be a visionary leader in unexpected times reached out to me directly and said, I made a comment on something on Facebook, and they came back and said, Ivy, I'm thinking about a nonprofit and thinking about da-da-da-da. And we just did like 10 minutes of troubleshooting. It's a friend of mine I've known for years, a friend, colleague, associate, been a client. And, we just talked about some strategy on how to implement and what it could look like. And then a set of action plans to check it out moving forward. And that's the important component, is not to sit idle. So take a look at the goals you've set, and more importantly, take a look on the adjustments in all fashions based on what you're learning, what your clients need now, what your leadership team needs now, where opportunity is sitting now, what you can be doing. And take those actions to create the next series of goals for July to December of 2020, based on the information we have today. One of the interesting things I've heard several different of the small local distilleries, when this first started, immediately started shifting to making hand sanitizer. What else? I know somebody who has been in the bandana business and other accessories for years, shifted, immediately started manufacturing masks. Where's opportunity for you? Then start creating that plan. This is step 2. Start creating that plan to get there. How are you going to achieve it? Look at the habits that have served you well. This is number 3. Look at the habits that have served you well and how navigating those habits. What has served you well? When have you had your best successes? What has led you? And what are the habits that you lived by during that time? Was it a habit of a little bit of quiet space every day to allow creativity through? Was it a habit of gathering with a group of people, might be virtually, and brainstorming on ideas? Are you a team thinker? Are you a quiet thinker? Know who you are and honor it. For me, I'm a brainstormer. My best ideas come when I'm just talking out loud. And my team knows it. And we have brainstorm sessions, and that's how things are created. Continuous and always know, and this is an amazing opportunity to build and work on your relationships. Don't stop now. More than ever right now, we need people reaching out to one another from a place of, I care, how are you? Not what you can do for me, but I care, how are you? That leads us to number 6, sorry about that. Strong communications. And when I say strong communications, the biggest component of communication, and everybody's like, yeah, I know, Avi, that's all about talking. No, it's all about listening. So when you reach out to people with a relationship of how are you? What can I do for you? Listen up. What are they saying? What are they saying on the surface? What are they saying under the surface? Be of service. Listen and then follow through. What you can do for them. And in that sense, number 7, showing up with a what can I do attitude. And in that way, I'm a strong believer in positivity. Hence, uncertainty doesn't cut it for me. What I can do is shift my perspective of uncertainty to it was unexpected. But in unexpected times, there's a lot of opportunity. So let's connect here. Showing up from that place, lead with excitement. It's unexpected. This is going to be great. Think about it as a roller coaster a little bit. I remember as a kid, loved roller coasters. My sister, my parents, we would love to go on roller coasters together. And you would climb up and, you knew there was that whoosh down, and it was fun. It was fun. But I remember the very first time I was scared to death to go on a roller coaster was with friends when they opened Space Mountain in Disney World. And I was on a friend's trip. I was young, probably graduating high school or something like that. And I was shaking in my pants. I kept saying, what's going to happen? It's going to be dark. And the bottom line is, it was a roller coaster in the dark. So what do we see from that? We see as soon as we take away the light and we don't know what's coming, it increases our fear base. So look at that as an example. The roller coaster that I could see was exciting. The roller coaster in the dark was terrifying. Stay in the place of excitement where you could create your ups and downs. There's going to be some ups and downs. There's going to be a curveball. It's an adventure. And stay in the joy of the adventure versus the fear of the dark. So let me know how you're going to be navigating this path back. What are some of the things you're going to be doing for yourself, your family, your business? Are you going to be doing a little more work from home? Are you leading your teams back in? Have you come up with new and innovative ways to lead your team? Share with us some of the highlights down below. This is the great idea of what her success story was meant to be. It's not about me sharing anything with you. It's about us all sharing things together. So let me know what's in your journey. Let me know what you're learning. Comment below. Remember to subscribe. We come into your inbox with some great content, I hope, you tell me, as well as awesome interviews with brilliant, innovative, and experienced people who are navigating their own journeys, who share from the heart and from the rawness of some of the things that have gone amazingly right and the path and the journey that had those obstacles, dips, curveballs, and are willing to share their experience with all of us. So thanks for joining me here today. See you next time at Her Success Story.